When we think of these highly revered monks, our minds usually go to meditation, deep wisdom, maybe even a few miracles, right? But today, we're going to talk about someone a little different. We're diving into the story of Luang Pho Thob. He's a figure whose legacy isn't just spiritual. It's literally built into the ground, into the foundations of his community in Phetchabun. His story really makes you rethink what true spiritual power even looks like.
So here's how we're going to break it down. First, we'll get a handle on this unique title that really defined him, the developer monk. Then, we're going to trace his journey, all the way from being a young novice to becoming this incredible community builder. And finally, we'll look at the amazing legacy of giving that he left for everyone.
All right, let's jump right in with the big idea, the concept that really shaped his entire life, the developer monk of Phetchabun.
And this gets us to the central question, doesn't it? When we talk about the power of a holy man like Luang Pho Thob, what are we really talking about? Are we talking about supernatural, unexplainable miracles? Or is the real power found in something much more tangible, something you can actually see and touch?
Well, this is where that title, developer monk, becomes so important. It describes a spiritual leader who doesn't just stay within the temple walls. No, these are architects of their community. They focus on building the absolute cornerstones of society. Yeah, temples for sure, but also schools, community halls, even digging wells. His influence wasn't just in the spiritual realm. It was grounded in real, practical work that helped people.
So, to really understand the man who would go on to build so much, we have to go back. We need to look at where he came from. Because his journey started long before the first brick was ever laid, back when he was just a young novice with a deep spiritual calling.
Born way back in 1881, Luang Pho Thob started on his spiritual path really early. At just 16, he was ordained as a novice, and by 21, he became a full monk. That's when he was given the name Dhammapanyo, which means one with wisdom in the Dharma. You can see how this early discipline really became the bedrock for a lifetime of service and, well, a whole lot of action.
Okay, and this is where his story just becomes extraordinary. We're now getting to the very heart of his legacy, the immense, physical, real-world work of building temples and laying the foundations for his entire community. 17. Just look at that number, 17. That's not an age, it's not a date. That is the number of ubasats, the main ordination halls in a temple that Luang Pho Thob either built himself or led the construction of. In his lifetime, just let that sink in for a second. That is an absolutely staggering achievement.
And his work went so much further than just construction. I mean, yes, he built and restored temples, but he also created entire systems for monastic education, making sure that wisdom and knowledge would be passed down. He developed community infrastructure, things like meeting halls and wells, to address the practical, everyday needs of the people. On top of all that, as a leader, he set up administrative structures that brought order and helped the faith grow in really remote places. He wasn't just a builder, he was a true community architect.
Now, this lifelong dedication, this drive to build and to give, it didn't slow down. It continued right up until the very end. So let's look at the final chapter of his life and the powerful legacy he ultimately left behind.
Luang Pho Thob passed away in 1976. He was 95 years old. And you know what? He didn't die in some quiet retirement. He passed away while he was actively working on his final project, the construction of a new ubosat at Wat Silamong. That was going to be number 17. I mean, that one act just perfectly captures his entire life, a constant, unwavering mission to build, to serve, and to give.
So this brings us full circle, right back to that main idea. While a lot of people might connect his reverence to the power of amulets or stories of miracles, his life shows us something completely different. The true, lasting power of Luang Pho Thob came from tangible development. It came from the bricks and the mortar, the schools he helped build, and the communities he made stronger. Ultimately, his reverence isn't built on a foundation of myth. It's built on a foundation of action. It's rooted in a lifetime of accumulated good deeds and real, measurable social development that actually improved the lives of countless people. That is where the deep respect for him comes from. And that leaves us with a final thought to chew on. For Luang Pho Thob, what he built was precisely what he left behind. So it makes you wonder, what is a true legacy? Is it found in the stories people tell about us? Or is it in the concrete, tangible good we actually contribute to the world? Something to think about.